Hello, everyone. In this unit, we're going to discuss how the biology of the brain creates behaviors. So, let's first talk about the nervous system. This is a network of billions of cells in the brain and the rest of the body that are responsible for how we feel, how we think, and the things that we do. There are three main purposes of the nervous system. One is that we need to be able to transduce environmental energies and bring them inside of the body. So, whether we're talking about photons of light entering into our eyes, sound waves entering our ears, or the mechanical pressure on the tips of our fingers as we touch something, we have to have some type of way to bring this information inside of our bodies. Then, once it's there, we need to be able to process that information. And if needed, we need to be able to respond to it. So, neurons are the basic units of the nervous system. These are cells that are specialized in order to receive, integrate, and transmit information throughout the nervous system. Neurons operate using these biochemical electrical impulses that can send information and then can communicate with other neurons or glands or muscles using a chemical messenger. This communication forms what we call a neural network. Now, there are about 10 to the 11 neurons in the body, but there are about 10 to the 14 synapses. These synapses are the connections that neurons make with each other that form the neural network. So below here we see a kind of a stereotypical neuron. And so let's talk about some of the structure of a neuron. Let's start with the cell body, also known as the soma. So, this part of the neuron is much like any other cell in the body. It contains the cell nucleus that contains genetic information, and it has much of the kind of machinery needed for a cell to be able to survive that can create energy from nutrients and can build proteins, all the things that a cell needs to do largely takes place in the cellular body. What makes a neuron more unique then is the presence of dendrites. So dendrites are specialized parts of a neuron that are designed to receive information. Then we have the axon. The axon is a long process that moves away from the cellular body and is designed to transmit information away. This axon is often surrounded by what we call myelin or a myelin sheath. And this is basically insulation, whose job it is to help speed up the neural transmission down the axon. At the end of the axon, we have the terminal boutons. These are small little knobs that are that secrete chemical signals that we call neurotransmitters. And so this is how a neuron then communicates to another neuron or to a muscle or to a gland is by releasing these chemical messengers that travel a over a synapse, the junction where the information is transmitted from one neuron to another or to a muscle or gland, and then you have these neurotransmitters that travel across the synapse to then communicate with the next cell. Now, the neuron that I showed that we've been looking at is just one type of neuron. There's actually lots of different ways that neurons look in the body, and these are just some examples. But they all still have mostly the same parts to it, where they have a cellular body, a dendrite, and an axon that sends information. They're just designed a little differently depending on which part of the body that we're looking at.